I've been really enjoying season 2 of Fionna and Cake, which is surprising because weirdly enough, season 1 was just way more interesting. It had a much better hook and episode basis with something always happening. Meanwhile, in season 2, it's much slower and doesn't seem concerned with trying to keep the audience attention. Which is great actually, because now we get to have more episodes focused on our characters and see how they're progressing after the events of season 1. When I first found out that this season was going to be all about Huntress Wizard, I'll be honest and say that I had little faith in this show. Simon is probably one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, so being able to follow him after the events of Adventure Time was really cool, and his story of moving on and accepting his future without Betty really struck a chord with me. It's sad and bittersweet, but the way things end here just feel like a new beginning. One door closes and another opens. But what does that mean for Huntress Wizard? Little is known about her character, which I guess is a good thing. We don't have any basis for who she is, so we can kind of do anything for her. Though I do think there is something that is very important to her, and it's not exactly about her character, it's her romance with Finn. So in the episode where she was formally introduced, though she did pop up in the background sometimes, but here she did have a focus. In this episode, Huntress Wizard is looking for someone she cares about, and in that process, she meets Finn and grows a liking to him. She only spends about like 2 weeks with him, but in those moments, she somehow really connects with him. And not in the normal sense, more so like in vibe and I guess in goals and mindsets. She's very blunt and forward, even stealing a kiss from him, but remains on her stance of not wanting to be in a relationship, claiming that it'll make her weak and soft. She's devoted herself to magic and training, not wanting to settle for a life where everything is so calm. She doesn't want to slow down and become weak. She wants to remain powerful and keep striving to that goal of being powerful. And in later episodes, we actually see a bit of her childhood. She's actually always been like this, always moving forward without a second doubt, always chasing after strength, always hunting, but at the cost of keeping those she loves at a distance. Fast forward to now, Finn has lost Jake and seems to be closer to Huntress Wizard, but not exactly. They clearly have something. Finn goes to casually visit her and calls her babe, and in the past they would share a kiss every now and then, and one time she even gave him an elk hark, which to hunters is the most valuable part of the animal. She's even going through so much trouble just to save his life by going to the heart of the forest and extracting this magic tree serum thingy. And in later episodes, we actually see them laying together where Finn admits that he's thinking about dying, which Huntress Wizard just kind of jabs at him saying, "You'll forget me." Finn is firm on his reply, saying that he won't forget her. He never will. I have no doubt that Finn really tried having something more sometime after Jake's passing, especially judging by Marceline's comment about them being back on again. This is just my headcanon, but I think Finn sought for companionship in someone, and Huntress Wizard was able to give that to him. There was this one episode that I can remember where Finn was kind of all like locked up inside, and he went to that one train and he was just fighting, but it helped him kind of focus and just not really think about the bad. It helped him clear his head. So I do think something similar happened with Huntress Wizard. She helped him keep him busy and just helped him keep his mind off things. I do think she maintained her distance. They got closer, I'm sure. They spent more time together, and I think Finn began to see more sides of Huntress Wizard and really started to like her, but I'm sure she realized what was going on and probably turned him down a lot, especially when she reluctantly calls him a friend when she's asked why she's doing this. So where does that leave her character now? Seeing how season 1 was all about getting the magic back in your life, only to realize that you don't need to fight monsters and be badass to have some magic, I could definitely somewhat see the same theme happening for Huntress Wizard, maybe. Maybe she'll continue to be headstrong and hyper-focused on her goal, but be a little more healthy about it. Or maybe Fionna and Huntress Wizard will be kind of like foils to each other's character and no real connection, character development will happen. Or they might just learn things from each other, seeing how for Simon, he got closure and found his magic in his life after finally regaining his sanity. He may still be iffy now, but he's healing. The same thing could happen with Huntress Wizard. And the same thing with Fionna. We can see that in the first episodes, she's helping around and being useful, and she seems so much more happier. But sadly, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. She may have just saved everyone and became a hero and brought back something that was missing, but there's still that sense of doubt. When you think about it, nothing has really changed. Adult life is still hard, there's still others that look down on her, and not everyone will praise and see her as a hero or even remarkable. But yeah, let's actually talk about the episodes. So episode 1 takes place not that long after the previous season. Fionna and Cake are now living separately, and they make sure to mention that Cake is now an independent girl boss. So that's likely going to be her story in this season, which I actually like, because in the previous season, she was super happy about finally being more than just a house cat. And now that she isn't just a normal cat, she can do whatever she wants, and it's cool that she decides just to live a little and start her life here and now. I can't exactly say the same for Fionna though. Even though things have changed, things are still very much the same. Her apartment is a wreck, she's not eating right, she tries to go help, but they all compare her to how she was before, and it's kind of getting to her. We then see Cake transforming into something a little more human-like, and there's this bit about her not eating mice anymore, which I think has heavy story implications, and I think further proves that she's trying her best not to be a cat. We also see Hunter again, and ooh, look, I think they're in love. Gee, I wonder how long they're gonna pat this out. about. It's really odd how Fionna got scratches that look very similar to Finn's. She even had a little thorn in her hand, much like Finn with his grass arm. It could just be a reference, or maybe it could be like parallels or foreshadowing, I'm not sure yet. Every single version of Finn has had a mechanical arm, so maybe this is showing that, hey, she's gonna lose that arm. Speaking of Finn, we switch worlds and he isn't looking so good. His wounds is now slowly poisoning him, and Huntress Wizard tries to go get answers. She's noticeably worried when she hears about the heart of the forest. Ooh, I wonder what lore we're gonna get this time. We cut back to Fionna cutting. Get it, see what I did there? In episode 2, we get this awesome origin for Huntress Wizard. I really like the style that this was animated in, and we finally get some answers, sort of. So even as a kid, Huntress Wizard was always focused, calm, mysterious. She spent her entire childhood just surviving, training, and trying to split this boulder with a grass, I think. It seems that Spirit Warrior was training her for some time, and brings her over to the heart of the forest to become a green wizard. But Huntress Wizard chooses to continue to train and work alone. Not sure if it's because of something that happened earlier in her past, or maybe she just doesn't like people. I guess we'll find out later episodes. We cut back to the present, and this bear that attacked Finn was actually someone from Huntress Wizard's past, and she has the most boring name ever. This is Witch Wizard, and she guards this fancy bush, which is the thingy to the heart of the forest, and messing with it was a bad move because this giant Princess Mononoke deer is very dangerous and was chained and imprisoned here. Ooh, spooky. As soon as this creature awakes, all the green wizards lose their powers just out of nowhere. So this creature was probably used like a conduit and forced to stay here. Either that, or it needs to remain asleep and docile, or the multiverse will crumble apart. Huntress Wizard gets pulled in after getting attacked by the other green wizards, and oh, she's dead. But she's not dead. Honestly, that's so crazy that they actually did this. This shocked me for real. She then gets a vision of her and Finn, and gosh, I love this scene so much. It's so short, I just want more of this. I need more of this. Just from this one scene, you can see their whole relationship. And it's kind of sad, but it's cool. Finn tells her that he's thinking about dying soon. He tells this so casually, just like it's something he's just gonna do, like going off on an errand or going to the grocery store. Huntress Wizard then responds, "Bummer, you'll forget all about me." Finn immediately replies that he won't. He never will. The first time he laughed, but the second time when he said it, his tone hardened. Like he knew the consequences of his word and affirmed that no matter what, even if he does die, she's gonna be a big part of him. He's not gonna forget her. I mean, just from that alone shows their relationship. Obviously, they're very casual. They're very much just hanging out. But that second time when he said he won't forget her, like that's him showing his feelings of like, hey, I'm into you. Huntress Wizard seems very unbothered by this and just closes her eyes, laying with him. It's really touching, and I really hope we see more of their talks, more of this. I'm sure there's a lot of people who just want Finn to be happy, so please. Huntress Wizard's body parts then turn into these seed things and form her spirit. Those seeds then get blown away and end up in different universes. I want to quickly talk about this whole thing. So these little star things are how you traverse other worlds, but why is that? What is this creature, and why is this another gateway to travel to other worlds, other universes? And most importantly, why was it chained in the ground? I find it so interesting because this literally shows up for like 2 minutes and that's it. My first thought was this was the world tree because I played God of War 2 not that long ago, which makes sense for this to be the world tree because this is the heart of the forest. Or maybe it's something similar to like the life stream in Final Fantasy. Or maybe it's a literal representation of the multiverse. You know how like whenever we see these kind of stories, we see worlds branching off into others. It's hard to say why this is a thing and why it's storming and chaotic in this space, but regardless, Huntress Wizard focuses herself and moves through one of these worlds with the help of some random voice that calls out to her, which I assume is her old mentor. Meanwhile, in Fiona's world, they are currently running into a few issues. Gary wants to have his own shop, Marshall wants his own space, but they were driven out and are now struggling what to do. They try and get their stuff back, but that doesn't work. So they try taking it by force, but that's not the way. I find it interesting that Fionna was the one to try and motivate her friends to keep going. After what happened in her dream the other day, I wonder if she is forcing herself to save her friends and to be that hero. This is further established when she is talking to baby Finn. This entire talk feels like a giant projection, but also just some awful advice that she's just trying to pass on. She explains that it's okay that nobody taught you how to do stuff, which I relate to by the way, and it's not your fault, but you gotta lock in before everyone leaves you. yeah, she tells that to a baby. You just gotta lock in before they leave you. In all honesty, like this part made me tear up a little because I can't imagine the pressure that Fionna or just anyone in her situation is feeling. For her to be like, it's okay that nobody taught you anything, but you gotta lock in because people are gonna leave you, like that's sad. These words now define Fionna, and she's worried that if she can't do anything, then, well, everyone she knows will be gone. Just like in last season, how she had to be the one to step up and save the town, and just like in her dream, where she cut off the heads of the people she cares about. I don't think she fully kills them, but I do think this is a hint at her possibly causing their deaths, or maybe just the anxiety that she will ruin their lives somehow, if she doesn't do the right thing. I wonder what Huntress Wizard will say to this. Will she agree to this, or tell Fionna to cut everyone off so she can come back stronger to save them? Or just remove her friends entirely so she doesn't have to worry worry about disappointing them or ruining their lives. There's so much potential here, but too bad Huntress Wizard is just a seed right now. Episode 3 shows us exactly what happened when the magic was erased from the world. Fionna was fighting the Ice Queen trying to save Flame Prince. I think this was in the arc of their love story. Seeing how they kiss right after they're saved, but right when it looks like they're both about to die, she kicks Flame Prince out of the way and the magic disappears, and nobody even notices. Fionna just looks at her watch and realizes she is running late and just shoves Flame Prince out of the way. And what's super weird about this is that they don't even know each other. This is obviously the past, by the way, before they hooked up and got into a small relationship, but judging how it was before they lost the magic, they already looked acquainted. Here, however, this is their first time meeting, which doesn't really make sense to me. Why would erasing the magic erase their memories of each other? Unless this moment was literally their first time meeting, I have no clue. And if that is the case, then wow, she really kissed him right when she saw him. That's kinda cool though. Fionna and friends decide to put their money together and start a fundraiser to buy their spot back. All while Seed Huntress is dying of thirst. Me too, man, me too. We surprisingly cut to Prismo, who is glitching out. You okay there, buddy? He explains that something beyond the multiverse brought Huntress Wizard over to Fiona's world. Along with the multiverse, there are these giant roots and plants that connect to all worlds, which I don't really get. How can you have something that is beyond the multiverse? Maybe I'm just misunderstanding and this is just talking about how everything is connected, but how can Prismo's outer world and the magic tree roots be independent to each other? Unless they're both something that complements to each other, or maybe they're two gateways that work together? I have no idea. Maybe we'll get answers later on. Or maybe someone in the comments will correct me. Speaking of getting answers, every single princess in Ooh wants to get a piece of that Finn because they found out he's gonna die, so they're like, I'm gonna kiss him. Because of course they do. I hope this is gonna be joked about later, because the fact that Finn is getting kissed by every single princess in Ooh, like damn, speaking of dying of thirst over here, maybe I should almost die, then I can have a chance to get the ladies. And yeah, when I said every princess, I meant every princess. Dude! I remember being so upset when they broke up and never got back together. I was that kid that looked up the AMVs and the fan arts of Flame Princess and Finn together, having a happy life. I wanted them to work out so bad when I was like 12. I hate that they did this. I mean, it's cool, but like, you can't just have Flame Princess tell Finn while he's in a coma that she really did love him. Like, seriously, that's just a punch to the gut. It's great fan service though. I loved it, but gosh, no. I love seeing older Flame Princess, but like, my heart can't take it. And the worst part is that she said she's currently seeing someone now. No! And Fiona's now flirting with DJ Flame. You gotta be kidding me. I hate it here. So, in case you forgot, Felix broke up with Fionna over text, just out of nowhere. And yeah, he basically just disappeared out of her life. Yet, here he goes just popping up and acting like everything is just fine. This guy is literally the worst. And what makes this even worse is that it seems like Hunter and Fionna are really hitting it off. I wasn't sure if they had a thing, but the more I see them together, the more I can start seeing some sparks, unless I'm just shipping them together. I do fear that he'll reject her because he might not be looking for something like that. I don't know if he's going to be like Huntress Wizard's counterpart, where, you know, he doesn't want a relationship, or maybe he's just like, relationships aren't for me. I don't know, it's hard to tell right now because he seems so chill, but maybe he just likes existing. So Fionna goes clubbing, she realizes that she ain't even a side hoe, and yeah, she cries. Imagine getting dumped over text. Then they replace you with your doppelganger. You might as well just give up at that point. Fionna makes a comment about her soul being bound to Felix. I wonder why that's the case. Is it because they were ripped apart in the middle of their storyline? So all these emotions are still kind of there? But then why would Felix just leave her? We just had a scene where Flame Princess tells Finn that she really did love him, so shouldn't it be the case with Felix? Maybe they just didn't get a chance to experience that love in the original world, so it's just not as strong for him. But Fionna did say that he pulled away because his feelings were getting too real, which by the way, is complete bullshit. I don't know, I wonder why she fell so hard for him. Or is it just because she's dumb? It doesn't matter though, Hunter's way better. Man, I gotta give Hunter some props here. Like, such a good person. Here is Fionna, a complete wreck, drunk, wanting to give up, but Hunter confesses that he does like her and would like to kiss her, but not like this. Not when she's desperate and not thinking straight. Man, move over, Fionna. I want to date Hunter. For a split second, the Winter King flashes in her brain. Not sure if it's because he's a reminder of what happened, because, you know, the kiss. But by the way, Fionna kissed the Winter King and he died. It could be some PTSD thing, I don't know. I mean, she did have nightmares about killing her friends, so maybe she thinks kissing Hunter will kill him. So we cut back to Huntress Wizard, and she is transported to the spirit world thing. And we once again see Spirit Warrior, who tends to talk in riddles for some reason, because I think that's funny. He tells her to follow the beat to the roots, which I can assume that she needs to find the roots to the plant thing of the multiverse. She has to find and navigate the giant top and then slowly go down the bottom, which is narrow. It'll be a clear path after she finds her way. But I could be reading too much into that. He then says that he uses a hoe to get underground, which probably means that Huntress Wizard needs Fiona's help because she's a hoe. No? No one? You can laugh, by the way. That's a joke. It's mean, but it's a joke. I'm sorry. He then breaks the hoe and says that a broken tool seeks the flame. This part could literally mean a lot of things. Like for one, it could mean Fionna going to DJ Flame, because I did call Fionna a hoe currently, so it would make sense that she would seek the flame. Or it could mean that the tool needs to be burnt and destroyed. Maybe the tool is Huntress wizard and she needs to be sacrificed? Or it could mean to reforge. Old tools are always brought to the fire to repair or to make new. Maybe it talks about Huntress wizard needing a new body or reinventing herself in some way. We did see that her hair changed to autumn leaves instead of her usual green ones in the intro, so maybe she needs to be completed by finding her seeds throughout the multiverse and forging a new body. Or maybe it could be more metaphorical to where the flame is at, I don't know. The episode ends with PB possibly going to see Prismo to cure Finn, which is probably how he'll get back in the story. And yeah, those are the first 3 episodes. By the time of me recording this, the 4th episode has just been released, so I'll update you guys and make a video on episodes 4, 5, and 6. I'm excited to see where this all goes, and I can't wait for things to get more intense. Alright, I'll see you later, goodbye.